channel. So today I'm going to show you how we frame up one of our exterior walls and go through the process of how we mark it up, how we attach the studs, and then how we lift it up and nail it into place. Some pretty exciting stuff happening on the project this week. I'll show you guys, we've been framing up the exterior walls, a few of the interior walls. So the first floor framing is almost done, and hopefully in just the next few days we'll have all of the framing done in the first floor and be moving on to the second floor. So right here, I've started marking out for this exterior wall that's going to go right here. We're going to have an interior wall that ties into it. We're going to have a short wall that ties into it over here, and we're going to have a window in this corner. So I'll go ahead and show you how we mark it up and how we put that together. So come on over here and I'll show you what I've been working on. So as you can see here, I've started marking out this wall. This one on the left is our bottom plate. This one on the right is going to be the first top plate. We don't have to mark up our second top plate because it just sits on top of this top plate here. So this is where we're going to mark them up. So make sure that our studs, when we attach them, are in line and in the right location so that we can be straight and square. And so here where you can see a line and then an X, so an X marks the side where I'm going to need a stud, and I'm going out. So here in a corner where it's going to attach to this wall, we are going to place a 2x6 stud here and a 2x6 stud here, so that when we attach to this wall, there's some of this stud hanging over, and that gives us something to nail the exterior sheathing to. So then we move along the wall here, and every 16 inches on center is where we are putting a stud, and that gives us what we nail the drywall to as well. So as you can see here, I marked out the location. The red lines is where we're going to be placing a 2x4 against this wall. And so this is where that 2x4 wall ties into the exterior wall. So on each side of it, we're placing a 2x4 stud to give our drywall on the inside something to attach to. So we want to keep all the way along, marking out every 16 inches on center for where the studs are going to go. And then I'll mark out as we get to the window, the location of the window. So here we are at this point. I'm going to mark off right here my next couple studs. I'm just going to go along the whole way and mark off every 32 inches on center. I make a little caret mark for where that goes. And then I come back with the T-square and draw a line across both boards. And mark with an X where those studs go. So if those studs are in line with or located where our window is going to be, which some of them are, those studs, instead of going all the way from the bottom plate to the top plate, they're going to become cripples and just go underneath the window and above the window in that same location of 16 inches on center. So this bottom board is a little bowed, So I'm trying to keep it down so it stays in place. And then now we're out to the corner where we'll have a stud at the end. And I'm just seeing where we are measurement wise. Yep, we're over 16 inches, so I'm going to need one more stud. Right here. So I'm just going to mark out where that goes. Place an X. And then we've marked out our studs. So then the next step is marking out, we've got a low height wall that's actually going to be on one side of the shower because this is going to be a bathroom. And then we've got the window location. So according to the drawings I have over here, the next wall is located 4 feet 10 and a half from outside of stud to outside of stud. So I'm going to go back over here to our 2x4 wall, and I'm going to mark out 4 feet 10 and a half from this wall. Feet 10 and a half is right here. So it looks like that falls right by a stud. So what we're going to do in this scenario, since we've got this wall here, this one, I mark in red the interior walls that are going to attach. So I'm going to mark off, make sure I'm straight. Okay, that's one side of that wall. And then we're going to add, let's see, we need to go, that wall is going to be 3.5 inches because that's the nominal length or width of a 2x4 stud. I'm going to mark out the other side of that wall. So that is going to be where our wall connects. And so what I'm going to do is normally, just to give the drywall something to attach to, we do a 2x4 on this side and a 2x4 on this side, and that'll give the drywall something to attach to. But since this falls on a 2x6 stud that we need for the exterior wall, what I'll do is I'll move this 2x6 stud to right here on this side of the wall, right here, and then on this side I'll just do a 2x4. Because it's not required structurally for the exterior wall, it's just for the drywall to tie into on this side. And this 2x4 or 2x6 exterior stud is just shy of 16 inches on center. And actually I think I'm going to make this a 2x6 as well, just because I don't want this 2x6 to be more than 16 inches on center from this one. So I'm going to make both of these a 2x6 and keep this. This is going to be a 2x4 for the exterior wall to attach to. So I have a stud on either side of this wall, and that's just going to be a short wall in the bathroom. So on this side of this wall, this half wall will be the shower. On this side is where we're going to put the tub, and over the tub we're going to put a window. So that's what I'm going to mark out next, is the location of the window. So I want this window, it's a 4-foot window, and I want it to be centered in this wall. So centered between these two. So we're sitting at 68 1/8 of an inch. So half of center of the window is going to be at 44 1/16. I'm just going to mark that off so I can figure out the math here. So 44, no, not 44. Let's see, math in the evening when I've been doing math all day is a struggle. So 68 1/8 divided in half is 34 1/16. So 34 1/16 puts our center of window right here. And it's a 4-foot window, and the rough opening for this window is 4 feet 3/4. So we're going to have, that's 48 inches 3/4. So we're going to have 24 inches, and half of 3/4 is going to be 3/8. So from center to the outside of this window is going to be 24 3/8 of an inch. On this side, so we're going to go ahead and mark the line. Make sure we're all straight here. So that's going to be the outside of my rough opening for my window. Just going to write that there's a window there. And for each window opening, we have to have 2 jack studs and 2 king studs. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to mark, so 2 1.5 inch is 3 inches. So we're gonna have header, header. Mark out where those headers go, and then outside the header we are going to have two outside the jack studs, we're going to have 2 king studs. So the king studs mean they go all the way from bottom plate to top plate, and jack studs are studs that go from the bottom plate to the underside of the header of the window. So we need those on either side. So there's the header stud, the jack stud, and the king stud. So I just mark those with a K and a J. And then I need to mark out the other side of the window. So now these studs are going to become my cripple studs over this window. So this whole opening from header to header is going to be, or from king stud to king stud, rough opening. No, that's from header jack stud to the other side of the rough opening. It's going to be, can I use it for one thing? $48 3/4 is right there. So I'm just going to use this as my straight edge. I'm going to mark it on both ends and get it. right there is my window. So this is going to become a cripple here. And on this side, we're going to have a jack stud and a jack stud and 2 king studs. So I'm going to mark out 3 inches for my 2 inch and a half for my 2 jack studs, and inch and a half for my 2 king studs that are going to go right here. So it's going to be a total of 6 inches. My T-square got stolen from my dad for something else, so I'm making do with measuring tape. Unfortunately, a little more challenging. King stud. Another king stud. Now my 2 jack studs. There we go. Now I have location for the window. Window. These are going to be my cripples. And then these are going to be my header and king studs. And now we can put it all together on the ground.